I'll start with some basic configuration on how I like to set up my work environment. So first of all, I like to work with unit setup convenient for me. So I'm switching to an A4 page because that's what my printer is using. I'm in Europe. I will be using millimeters and everything will be millimeters, and I will use a vertical page. Okay, that's now correctly set up, and you can see that I'm now using 21 centimeters originator and 29.7 centimeters vertically. I'm using lots of tools because I prefer to use numerical transformation. So I usually stack them on the right, and I can very quickly shift from one to the other. I keep transform available very most of the time because I will use rotation and translation a lot. The other one, I usually switch from one to the other. And the last thing I like to have available very quickly is everything linked to magnetism, and especially what is magnetism at which. So the goal of this tutorial is to actually do a dodecahedron, which is basically 12 pentagon that you will need to glue together. So I will go through the whole process and explaining what's important to each step, so you can follow up very I'll try to explain all of the different operation and why I'm doing. So first of all, we'll start with a pentagon. So selecting the polygon object, and then you want to do a 5 edges object, and using the control key, you will make sure that it's actually aligned horizontally. So I will make a random pentagon. Okay, there you go. I now got the perfect blue pentagon. I'm using Control plus mouse to zoom, and middle button to actually scroll my screen. Okay, I now got my first pentagon, and I will have to start working with it. So I will temporarily select that the center of rotation will be magnetic, and I will actually look for it. Okay, see, when I'm coming close to it, it's snapping. I'm putting two actually lines, one horizontal and one vertical, to the center. Okay, next step, I'll prepare the object that I will be using to do the actual skeleton. So let's do that. I will do an horizontal symmetry. Actually, that's a vertical one, so I'm switching the 8s. So I'm using Ctrl D to duplicate the object, and then the new object will be switched. Okay. I will paint it in green to be more visible. So there you go. Okay, I'm now disabling center of rotation being magnetic, and I'm enabling the edges to be magnetic. And now if I'm scrolling that object, you see that they're becoming gluing at that corner. So this means that they're perfectly aligned. If I try to zoom, you'll see that the actual painted line, however thin I make it, will be perfectly aligned and overlapping each other. So I'm using home and hand to actually go to the first or last layer. I'm keeping the green one on the top layer right now. Okay, I now got an object that I can start working with. My pentagon will basically needs to have small pieces of paper to actually be able to glue it. So let's prepare it now. I'm duplicating that one again. I'm transforming it into I'm actually transforming it into a path, and now I will take both of these. Okay. This is the area that I will use for gluing and sticking together. Let's do that. I'm cloning it, and I will be rotated by 72 degrees. Okay. And now I got actually two stickers, two pads that I will use later. Okay, now I'm merging everything. So object, it's actually path, merge. Okay, there I am. I didn't lose any information because if you look at this object, you see that the actual corner are still there. So what's interesting right now is to actually display it in the correct way. And if the green part is cutting, I want to make a red part, which will be the actual not cutting but folding part. So let's prepare the folding. So I want to go there. So I'm sticking, 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 sticking. Okay, I'm using return to actually validate my path. I'm painting it in red for the future. So there I go. This is my folding path, and this is my actual cutting path. Okay, I will put my folding path in the bottom, and you see that the green arrow is now overlapping the red one. So I basically want to destroy that part. So I will use that tool to remove it. Okay, I now got my basic construction block, which is folding, 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 cutting, cutting. Okay, now that I got my basic construction block, I will actually group that and I will reuse it for each. I'm actually duplicating the object again. I'm clicking the second time, sorry, in the object to display the center of rotation, and I'm moving the center of rotation there. Why is it not sticking? Let's zoom. Okay. See, it's currently not magnetic. It's so when I'm cutting close, it's not jumping to 0. If I'm putting it magnetic and I'm coming close, it's now jumping and telling me that it's locking to the intersection of both, which is what I'm wanting. So if I try to zoom even more, it's always fine. Okay, let's start duplicating. So now the center of rotation is at the correct position. My object is selected. I'm actually using Ctrl D to duplicate and applying my rotation of 72 degrees. Ctrl D. Okay, and I now got the base of my one half of my dodecahedron. Okay, now that I got all of the segments that I was needing, I need to remove the old one, which is actually not useful anymore, or I can keep it, whatever. So if I got the bottom, I still got that blue line, select it, put it in front. Okay, so now you see that I got the blue line overlapping the red ones and the green one for cutting. Okay, next step is to actually duplicate and do the other half. So we're gonna do the other half pretty easy. Select everything and group it for now on, because we want to move everything at the same time. So now that it's done, you can actually duplicate it with Ctrl D, and most probably we want to use symmetry, not vertical but probably horizontal. Let's see. And it's not in the correct position, so probably we want to do a rotation of 36 degrees. It was actually minus 36, sorry, Ctrl Z, minus 36. Okay, seems correct so far. Let's try to glue. As usual, coming close, stuff is sticking together, so this means that that line from the first polygon and this line for the other polygon are perfectly aligned. Before going any further, let's check that stuff would assemble correctly. So that edge there will be connecting to that one, so we only got one gluing stick. That one will be connecting to that one, and we got only one gluing stick. That one to that one seems fine. That one to that one seems fine as well. That one to that one seems fine. And if I go the other way, those two together, those two together, two together, those two together. So far, it's good. Okay, we're almost done. Next step is to actually solve the issue that we got there, because we got cutting and a bending which is incorrect, and probably a double thingy. So first I will ungroup using Ctrl Shift G my old my first object. I will ungroup my second object, and I will zoom into the interesting part. That object there, that one is not interesting anymore. You don't want to cut there, so let's select it and kill it. Done. Okay, and probably zoom. Okay. That one there is probably not interesting either because it's actually okay because it's red. But let's remove it. We'll create it again. Let's remove it, and that one. Okay, that one there as well. Let's remove it, and let's recreate a red line, which is a penning line. Oh, don't create it there because you will join it to the existing object, so don't forget to select any object. It's glowing, and return painted red, and there you are.